Tuli wano eno wennyini ku kooti e Makindye. We are at the court of Makindye. Oyo gwe mulaba awo ye Nnaalongo. Emmotoka eno gye mulaba eri mu kaaso Erias Lukwago oba munnamateeka Lukwago.
Kati mbalimu 5-0.
Bless up, bro. All right. Reporting live wano wennyini e Makindye ku kooti. Nnaalongo y'oyo gwe mulaba awo ne Hajj Muhammad Nsereko ne munnamateeka we wedda gwali naye we bakola naye statement ne Daddy Lubega Segona akali amaggwa ne ttiimu yonna eya PFF. Odda nkulabe Makindye wa nange nzibaddeko Thank you. Right now, we're Muchiraba, Council Elias Lukwago, problem so alaba kiri munda awo naye ndowooza osobola omulaba awo wuuyo akati oyo ye kanso we oba ye looya we Medad Sseggona akali amaggwa ali nnyo ne Doreen omumyuka wa Lord Mayor eyali omumyuka wa Lord Mayor Doreen Nyanjula naye tumulabirako wano otherwise Kaijo omuwandiisi w'ekibiina ekya PFF Honorable Muhammad Nsereko naye waali wano and all the parties here. Some of the ate omuseka gy'abadde
you can see how the council moved out. That is council it moved out, but also you have been just able to see council here crossing equally move in the same direction. That means that the processes that are happening in the whole area
Hmm?
from intense for the lawyers, but certainly the job for them. Just a reminder.
Make it happen. That is the car, the motor Elias Lukwago mwali eyo emmotoka. This is what is happening right here. This is what is happening right here, right now. This is that's the motoka Lord Mayor mwali awali ye mukyala wa Lord Mayor ataddeko akatambaala akamyufu Naalongo ate ttiimu eya PFF okubanga olwaleero bazze okulwanirira Freedom Fund. abali wano subscribe anyumikira pen nalongo byamusobedde dda kati SG but there must be someone who is up and say, he is my friend, my brother, and that is what is absent among us. When we forget not the lens was correct. I will stand no matter what. So, but who has a teaspoon for this gentleman? So, this sometimes it is important that we also respond to this. So, I'm here not to show solidarity, but if I'm called upon to step on the bed, definitely I'm not able to do it if this court would be able to grant a bail which I'm going to have jurisdiction. So, what I'd like to say that this country is too big for all of us to accommodate everyone's opinion. With respect, so I believe we can all work together. This is not the destiny that we set out as a country. We've been suffering from Ebola, negative publicity, and now this is what I believe as a country. There is open for everyone to participate in politics without people's rights being abused. Not as of yet, because I just can't like witness. I've realized that I've not spoken to you to be fair and honest, but I'm one. Other lawyers are there are very many. I appeal to all lawyers in the society that can make it up to also stand up and come and present themselves, because this is a legal profession also at test. So if a lawyer in due course of practicing his profession he meets such challenges, it is very, very important that lawyers and professionals in law also step forward and say that we have to stand together in this. And it's practically a judicial test as well. I mean, you issue an order and this is what you get from an order. You know? You issue summons and this is what you get. So this is test towards them and how they'll pick up this. But I believe we can all have a contribution. For those ones that don't practice law, I mean, a mere statement from you, even if it's on your social media handle, engagement, and we can do it respectfully. You don't even have to be vulgar, but you only have to say that I support and request for the freedom, or demand for the freedom of agendas of one. But this is the guy, rule of law. He has fought for this, and he's paying the price for this. I mean, this is him. Something that reminds me that people give honors to people when they pass on. But this is what we are celebrating. Better.
So yeah, okay. Are you able to get it? Yes. Yes, I think I could. His wife is sitting beside him, so what he is saying is currently he's speaking to his lawyer, like the university that is also having an engagement to counsel some policies as well as just such a time. Also, engaging in conflict
Subscribe.
Substantiate what's confident. I'm not sure. Cancel everything. Matter of choosing that matter has been still expected to be calm about but also just hearing trying but also application which they don't so Which one? Together with me is Okia Karen, Senior Secretary, and Gabriel Obua, Secretary. We represent the state of I pray that the political council.
Please, Your Honor, my name is Mayor. I'm assisted by counsel Sam. Samuel. The Honorable Matthias. Mr. Abubakar Shekar. Sir Lawrence Kabu. Lawrence Kabu. And Miss Proscovia Kunidia. Who represent the also trained by Maria. Motion.
tried to release prison of treason contrary to section 25 of the Penal Code Act, Part 128. The particulars of the offense are that Honorable Elias Lukwago and others still applied between 2021 and November 2024 at various places, including Nairobi in Kenya and Kampala in Uganda, knowing that other persons to wit, Joel Wakaima, Frank Chiheri Atkunda, Haj Obed Lutale Kamlegia, and Colonel retired Dr. Elizabeth Chibeke intended to commit treason, did not give information thereof with all reasonable dispatch to the minister and administration of the magistrate or an officer in charge of the police station, or use all reasonable endeavors to prevent the commission of the treason. Have you understood the particular information? Is it true? Can you switch off your phone? Kindly could you switch off your phones? What is in session, please? Your Honor, inquiries are still ongoing. We take a motion that this time we have a right to apply.
We are ready with 3 applications. No. The first is paid. And the last 2 are worship. We have instructions right for bail as we might do. Yes, these are the accused person applies for bail on the following grounds. 1, in exercise of the constitutional right to apply. And with the permission, I do not need to deliver that under Article 23. The accused person has a fixed place of abode at Wakariga in Lukwago division. He has a family with a wife and children, and his residence is known to the state, both physically but also in documents, including the charge sheet, which you have just read over today. As the state mentioned in its charge sheet, the accused person is an advocate of this court and practices law. Under the name style of Lukwago and company advocates. Operating 1215A. Apologies. The law firm operates at 1215A, Lemon Hill Road, Nakasero, Kampala. On the first floor of Ruth Towers. The first floor of Ruth Towers. With experience of close to 30 years of legal practice. He knows and understands the implications of bail and makes a personal undertaking. To appear as and when directed. And to abide by all legal terms and conditions that may be set. Your Honor, the accused person passes another ground. The accused person suffers from a condition called gastritis. There are a number of conditions that I will mention one by one. The first is gastritis. Which requires consistent medical supervision by specialized.
Please subscribe. The charges are treason. Tadeko, subscribe, please.
And this court followed closely how he has been in the dock here. Relatives. But that is the condition. The requirement is to consistently monitor pressure, oxygen, aeration, and so on. But it also requires specialized food. Specialized food intake at particular intervals during the day and night. In particular, and in more particular terms, your worship, he has to take particular quantities, small quantities of highly regulated the worship smaller quantities provided at particular intervals, followed by particular medication provided under supervision, medical supervision. The second medical condition is herniated disc. This herniated disc is your HERNIATED. Herniated HERNIATED disc with actually for completeness it is disc C5 and C6 and C6. To demonstrate is that the lumbar spine, the cervical spine, was operated with a metal inserted, which was operated in Fortis Hospital, India. That is where the surgery was conducted. Fortis F-O-R-T-I-S Memorial Hospital in Delhi, India. Your worship, following the brutal arrest and management under detention, same as clinically dislocated by his observation arising, owing to the pain he feels, which is excruciating and requires urgent orthopedic intervention. Or neurological intervention. He also suffers respiratory ailments relating to his breathing, requiring well-ventilated space, as well as consistent and persistent medical observation. also suffers from hypertension. And that hypertension has been exacerbated by the physical conditions. The physical conditions he has endured over the last 2 days of his life. All these conditions were referred by the medical board of this country as only manageable by that Fortis Memorial Hospital and Nairobi Hospital. And Fortis is in Delhi, India. Yes, yes, it is in Delhi, India. But first, there is a more specified location called Gurugram in India. Gurugram in India. Gurugram is Gurugram. Your Honor, away from the medical prescriptions are two lifestyle prescriptions. One is what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat it. The second is when to get up and walk, for how long, what distance, all of which cannot be under incarceration. Now, those conditions have further been exacerbated by the type of meals that have been provided to him in the last 2 days. In particular, portion and beans, forced portion and beans. Together with the lack of medication as prescribed. The latest pressure taken from off the applicant or the accused person about 1 hour ago indicated that it was 217. 200. It was 200. 200 over 100. Yes. Which, by your standards, is close to suffering a stroke. Indeed, before he was dumped at the provided military custody. Suffered a high surge, high blood pressure. Reason whereof the military drove him out of their facility. He was only saved by the intervention. The doctor that quickly administered a tablet under his tongue. All those conditions cannot be catered for under incarceration. We are making attempts, Your Worship, to obtain a printout of some of the medical documents we are talking about, which we could not prepare in time. Reason being that since his kidnapping, we have only been looking for him. We were unable to get them, but we have received them electronically. So they are being printed out. By the time I finish this case, we have obtained them. The accused person is 56 years old. By law and authorities, that is advanced age. Now, advanced age spanning from the age of 50, so he's already 6 years into advanced age. As a matter of record and antecedent and responsibility, beyond being a lawyer, is the immediate ask, Lord Mayor of Kampala Capital City Authorities. And the former member of parliament for Kampala Central Division in the 8th parliament. In the 8th, where he served 5 years, both as MP and the Shadow Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. He was also Shadow Attorney General. He is currently the president of the People's Front for Freedom, a registered political party. For Freedom, a registered political party. He has no criminal record whatsoever. But has been charged in court before. And has been granted bail before. has never absconded. Which is a demonstration of his law-abiding character. Worship, in addition to his personal undertaking, abide by the bail terms, the accused person has a number of substantial purities and I proceed to introduce them with your permission. The first one is the Honorable Betty Awolo-Chan. The Honorable Betty Awolo-Chan is the city woman member of parliament. City woman member of parliament for Gulu City. In this parliament, having served for 15 years already, 20 actually. She's in her fifth term in parliament. She's the former leader of the opposition. In the parliament of Uganda, a former chief opposition whip, knows the art of whipping, so she can easily whip them to come to court. And is the currently the deputy president of the same political party I mentioned, People's Front for Freedom, in brackets, PFF. She is the deputy president of that political party for Northern Uganda. Works closely with the accused person. She is a mother figure and a friend of the accused person, aged 67 years. She's introduced by a national identity card, being a resident of I need some information. I'm also a man of advantage.
With your permission, senior quarters village. Lukwago ward, RIAA ward.
I beg your pardon.
Lukwago, IRIAA ward. Naro Peche division is the South County. Those are the officials.
Your worship, we would like to pass both the national ID and the parliament ID through to the colleagues, then we shall provide for we will undertake. Worship, the accused himself is also introduced by letter of LC1 the accused from Bulwa village. That is and his national ID is those are available for inspection and for your management. And for the Honorable Betty Awolo Chan, we have the photocopies of the ID, the IDs. For the Honorable Awolo Chan, we have not been able to secure LC later, considering the distance and the speed with which these events. Your Worship, the second surety with your permission, with is the Honorable Dr. Philip Michael. The Honorable Dr. Philip Michael Rurume Baiga. Honorable Rurume Baiga is age 56. So they are both men of advanced age. He is a resident of Kalasel, Bakal. Bakal is B-A-W-K-L. Set award. Set award. Introduced by later. We are trying to run some more copies. Currently, we have the photocopy and the original of his national ID together with the Honorable Lukwago is the immediate former member of parliament for Wiyikwe South. In the Wiyikwe district. Is the deputy president to the accused person in the political party mentioned PFF. Is a medical doctor and the proprietor of Kampala International Medical Center, close by here in Tanzania. Kampala International Medical Center, Tanzania, Kampala. Your Worship, he is a friend to the accused person for over 30 years. As you notice, their age mates, they were in school together. And I've since lived at one. You can also be reached on telephone number 0 0772 432 096.
I forgot to mention the telephone number for the honorable chair.
0772 591. Yes, 702.
The third should be
Is the Honorable Betty Namboze Bachireke. The Honorable Betty Namboze Bachireke is age 57. I have been forced by the president to mention her age. And that side coach is my back. So she's age 57. She's the current member of parliament for Mukono municipality. Now serving her fifth term. Her fourth term, sorry. Fourth term. And therefore she's actually into her fifth term. She's serving her fifth term. Her fifth term. Yes, Your Honor. I mean, the worship of her parliament ID. Because of the rush, we were not able to secure. You'll see later in introduction. And in the national ID. But she has memory of the NIN numbers, which can be used to access all the information about her, of her NIN number. It is CF 90 521 0 0 E9 capital E9 capital F capital E capital A. Sorry, E capital A. She's a resident of Lukwago village. Lukwago village, Ntawo ward, Mukono municipality. Her telephone number is 0752 38 710. Sorry, 388 710. Yes. Your Honor, in very peculiar circumstances, now this relates to responsibility. The accused person is counsel, actually currently lead counsel, in the matter of retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye and two others, which is criminal session case number 335.
335.
Yes. currently at hearing stage. It is 335 of 2025. Currently at hearing stage and scheduled for the 30th day of June 2026. The same is likely to suffer interruption if it is not granted this way. I mentioned that one because of its prominence, including in these proceedings. So, but it is one among the so many cases it is handling as an officer. Is not a fright risk. And undertakes not to leave the borders of this country without prior authorization to scope, with or without it being a condition. It is therefore the possibility of delay, and I would invite you to take initial notice of the case back in our system, both in police, where the case is still is, and in court. With that, Your Honor, the applicant is cognizant of the applicant is cognizant of the gravity of this offense. But one, the gravity consideration is mitigated in these proceedings by the personal undertaking and caliber of the applicant. Two, substantial nature opportunities. And then the rest will be selected by that you may be pleased to give. Obviously and axiomatically, the gravity of the offense does not negate the constitutional right and the presumption of innocence, right of life, and the presumption of innocence. We have so far, Your Worship, obtained one bundle of the applicants, some of the applicants' medical records that we have been able to obtain electronically. Therefore, I stand to be guided because the other two applications are dependent on whether or not you grant me today. The unlikely event that you may not be the say today, you pray medical care under conditions and directions. You may be pleased to give. Again, in the unlikely event that that is not done, most unlikely, in the unlikely or microscopic event that that is not done, but without prejudice before God. We pray that you direct that prison's authorities allow him possession of an orthopedic mattress. Orthopedic mattress. Because the same is under medical prescription. Orthopedic mattress and the cardiac bed. Because these are critical for his survival. Yes, and the cardiac bed. The same are critically needed for his survival. Where he was previously incarcerated, when he mentioned that they thought it was a luxury, they advised him to sleep on the floor, which has exacerbated his back condition. With that, he only slept on the floor for about 20 minutes. And he explains it was lying, not sleeping, on the floor. He was lying on the floor for those 20 minutes. And those have worsened his medical condition. He has not accessed medical care from his personal medical attendants. In the unlikely event of a remand, we would pray that the same be ordered and that he be allowed to access his specialized and prescribed meals. We have obtained the second copy of the bank of his medical documents. We pray that these medical documents be kept private because they relate to personal medical conditions and very private. With that, Your Honor, I reiterate what I earlier prayed, and pray that you be pleased to grant bail as a matter of life and death. Especially for the fear of an irreversible stroke owing to his medical condition. I so pray.
In particular, number 1 and 2.
That is letter from the area MC. Introducing them. He also availed us with a set of medical one and two of introduction of their residents. The letter from their area MC introducing them. That's what I mean. The letter introduction of their area to residents. That is Honorable Numbers and then secondly, we are also requesting for the set of the medical documents with respect to the condition of the accused person, where the council referred to the second set of the medical documents. We are also requesting that we should be available. Thereafter, we also claim that the prosecutions are given time. As you have seen the volume of the document, this is one set of the medical document tendered by the council for the accused person. Volume of it within time to study the document. Then, yeah, to study the medical document. Then we also need time to verify the particulars of the sureties. From that point, you also should be able to effectively respond to the council. In other words, the state is unable to respond to the application. Yes, also the council for the accused person, in addition to the application for the bail, you also pray for referral order for urgent medical care and provision of orthopedic mattress, taking into account the condition of the applicant. He referred to that and the mattress. The another one is critical to this condition, you know. And can also need specialized meal. You also pray the court in advance. The court has not grant him bail for that order. Just for our response to that, you're highlighting what he has to understand. Yes. Yes, but his request of grant orthopedic bail. Yes. So you are right, then you can respond to the same. Yeah. Yes. Yes. In response to that, the prosecution's submission that the prison authority has the best facilities in the country. It has specialized doctors, unless otherwise court gets a report from the prison authority that they are unable to contain this condition when in prison. Upon a report, maybe the court can
pronounce itself on it. But as per now, there is no report from the prison authority suggesting that they are unable to have him in their facility. And to be premature for the court to say that the prison authorities are unable to have him in prison at this point, this stage. So at this stage, you also we first
What is the friend?
I'm playing here for the court to declare to issue the order prayed for by the council for the Nike an order for with urgent medical attention, medical care, ordering the prison authority to provide orthopedic mattress and carpet bed. That order also be got to decline to issue at this stage. That's our prayer also.
With regards to the chain application.
We ask for time to respond.
So in other words, you seek an adjournment in order to give given time to respond to the application.
Yes, also.
That's the position.
Your Worship, with regard to the medical documents, the second set I was referring to, I meant copy one bundle set for the prosecution and one for court. That's what I meant by second one. So the bundle I tend to rely on is within the possession of my colleagues.
The bundle that is in court is in its entirety.
Absolutely.
Yes, you don't need a second bundle.
No, I only meant we were making two copies, each, one for state and one for court. They have the same, and I would invite them to read the same. Now, the same way they were prepared to charge and provided us with the little time that they gave us. So for the document, and I'll submit on the documents where they want the orders to see and understand the medical condition. They have the documents in front of them. And I trust their ability to read and understand them now and respond. You don't relate to LC letters. I mentioned that, yes, we would have loved to provide the same. But the circumstances imposed onto us by the prosecution could not allow us. We only learned at 11 today that the accused person had been dumped at the police. In Chia. Chia. Not Chia. Chia division in number. We rushed. We cooperated with the police. By way of providing the charge and caution they required of him and his statement, which he did. We cooperated with their police son to come and do his observation. And he did. Preliminary information was that they were going to charge him in Nakawa court. Even as we speak, they have not given us a copy of the charge sheet. Now, you're talking about the prosecution mounting a prosecution in good faith. I did ask my colleague, also for the state, when we were here, before we entered, and we look at the copy of the charge sheet, and she said, I do not have it yet. I don't know if she has it now. I have not looked at the charge sheet. I only listened attentively. I would invite my colleagues, therefore, to use the same attention I used to listen to the charge sheet and understand the medical documents. Your Honor, the LC letters that have been mentioned are only for identification of individuals. I am so certain that counsel for the state, if after receiving a parliamentary act for the Republic of Uganda, and she represents the state which issued the idea I'm talking about. And she still wants more. But I'm even more certain that in this day and age, my land friend cannot even verify the identity of a member of parliament electronically and digitally. I'm very certain. Apart from the creating backlog, abusing court process, creating backlog, abusing court process, creating congesting prisons, and persecuting, there would be no reason state attorney, two senior states, with a state attorney assisting them, would not be able to proceed with this such a and would insist that you proceed and detain, not just a sick person, a dying man. I would want to draw your attention, Your Worship, and without recruiting your sympathy, to a German national that was denied bail in Kalanga on similar flimsy grounds, and at the next hearing he was dead. And you're saying your former Lord Mayor of this city, a colleague at the bar, an officer of this court, should not walk to hospital, but should go and be condemned to death before you even try it. With respect to Your Worship, to the sureties, to the alternative bread. One. But even when someone wants to provide for himself a facility to allow him to live, without inflicting a charge on the government of Uganda by way of a matrix, somebody providing for himself a cardiac bed without asking government to provide the same. Someone providing for himself a specialized meal commensurate with his condition of life. Counsel for the state demands, I want a medical prescription for that. Your Honor, One, letters are not a requirement of law. It is just practice and guidance provided in the bail guidelines, just as a guide among other conditions you may impose. Indeed, that's why the law provides with or without sureties. Look at the speed with which we have been able to obtain a letter from LC of a person who has been incarcerated. And then somebody demands the authorities has the facilities. First, I'm not privy to when my land friend was last incarcerated in the men's wing anywhere in our prisons, so as to testify to the propriety of conditions in prison. Unlike who are in private practice, whose inmates in our prison Sean interfaces with the file in the comfort of our office or chambers. I invite you to disregard her submission in the propriety or otherwise of the prison conditions, but invite you to take judicial notice of the congestion in our prisons that have always been highlighted by the judiciary, that we all proudly serve. Even without medical reports, some of which we have provided, and even those from prison, Your Honor, this bail is entirely discretionary, and we rely on your discretion and good conscience. Discretion is basically the law of conscience, which we invite you to invoke and exercise. With that, pray that you take cognizance of the leadership caliber of the treaties presented, the caliber of the accused person, his record service both to court and the nation, but also the need to decongest both court and prison by attending to the legal work he handles as your officer. In the unlikely event that you incline to look at the letters of the LC, I would invite you to grant bail on the applicant's own cognizance, because it is provided for both in law, section 35, as well as practice. And to do the visual and clinical examination of the accused person. Please grant bail. Disallow the adjournment. And since they have opted not to respond to the bail application, close them out. But even reopening to allow them is entirely your discretion, and I'm amended. Without much ado, Your Honor, may you find a pleasure. In the event, Your Honor, that you want the state to have another opportunity to say, and since they wanted a medical report, specifically on what they asked for, a copy and someone is hereby given. But even I being senior to them, maybe I could also be of help to them. As an alternative to an adjustment, you could give them a standoff to study the documents. Since they need more time. With your permission, just before my colleagues' permission, we are actually in possession now. The medical referral, which they were talking about, from Lago National Referral Hospital. Dated 13th April 2024. And it relates to the accused person with a diagnosis of C6-7 disc prolapse. Another 6 to 7. To 7.
As opposed to 5 and 6?
Yes. Yes. This even 5 is there. This one relates to 6 and 7. Yes. Disc prolapse. Prolapse is pro and then lapse. With left-sided neuropharyngeal stenosis. I'm reporting that Steve is laughing at my client's medical condition. Maybe she's laughing at the way I am pronouncing medical terms. Yes, she's excited that I know that. Your Honor, with left-sided neuro, that is Neuro. Foramia is Formia, which has one word. Stenosis. And I'll only read the last bit, which my colleague was interested in, submitted it. Recommendation. Mr. Lukwago Arias has not responded to the conservative treatment with pain medication and physiotherapy. He's recommended surgical decompression with spinal fusion, SCDF, to relieve his symptoms. Your Worship.
When was this examination done?
Which one are you referring to? The one I'm reading?
Yes.
That is Fortis. And I don't.
Is it the one of India?
That is India, but this act was preceded by this. Yes. But this one I'm referring to is April 2024. So I am giving this copy with the request that I receive it back to make copies because it is the only one we are in possession of. But for the purposes of my colleagues. And to appeal to co-professionals, the other side. In life, as professionals, there are certain things that make us act. And there are certain fields as professionals we need not proceed. On my part and my team, we undertake to observe those standards. I would appeal to my colleagues, before whom I joined the bar, keep the same standards.
How much time prosecution is asking to respond to the application? Because as far as what is concerned, the application has not been responded to.
Sure. Your Honor, we are requesting for 1 week's time.
Considering that there are weekends that we might not be able to access some of the applicants herein.
Which state needs to verify?
Which we need to actually verify and see if it's the current state of the event. So we pray for more time, Your Honor, which is a strip of 1 week. Yes.
To respond, they rejoin any, and then court has to be given time to make a ruling on the same. No,
Your Honor, our prayers, it's 1 week. We believe that we'll be able to.
Your Worship, yes, Your Worship, I'm not used to back and forth. And that is the kind of practice I have lived for the last 25 years. Supposing I cause an adjournment for 1 day with a prayer that the accused person be kept in a medical facility under protection, observation, and protection of guard of security agents, police. But if they want prison to be in that hospital or police, we are many. Because all we are concerned about is protecting and preserving life. Because what the state is inviting you to do is to do an experiment on the accused person's life. Whether he actually will die, or whether he's in good or bad condition. We have no benefit of receiving from them the report of their police sergeant. Because she's talking about want to know the current state. The police sergeant did review the accused person. We are not privy to the report that he made. If they had shared with us, probably it would be a starting point for us. But it's not. We can only relate to the situation as we know it from our side. And I will give them the benefit of doubt that they do not know his condition before here. Now, I'm only speaking from a point that I know how I found him in police custody today, how he has lived before, which is not within their knowledge. As a win-win and stopgap measure, would they find pleasure to concede as we concede to their adjournment, even for that 1 week, he be placed under medical care, under guard or protection. Unless the intention is different, maybe to subdue, maybe someone to die, or for the medical condition to exacerbate beyond repair. If the intention is justice, and justice meaning a trial of a person that is not dead, then I would invite them to proceed to a medical referral, to go to hospital, under their guard, limited visitation. Even a government hospital, I am okay, including, provided it's not the exchange. We also concede to their adjournment for that 1 week. Because our proposed roadmap was, if he's in the hospital for at least 1 week, he's able to prepare for the cases he's handling, assuming it's granted. But can afford them the time they need to study the document, verify the locations or residences of the persons in issue. And that is how serious we are. With that, you have two sureties whose LC identity is not an issue anymore. Your Worship, we are taking you through this pain, and I would invite you to understand where we are coming from. is somebody we thought in the last 2 days may not be alive.
We don't want to go back to home, back in home. Council that has 8 billion applied for it. The state has not responded to the same. Even their business, they need to verify. The issue is not about the letters. Letters have been available. According to the state, they need time to verify the medical conditions according to them. So I believe in the interest of justice, since there are medical issues presented to court, the state will be given 2 days to respond. If the state will be given 2 days to respond, and that is today's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In order to save time, why can't state file written submissions in that regard and have them filed electronically? Honorable Member Sebona could rejoin if any, and then court can deliver a ruling on the same. Yes, this is an order of court. Let's check. Yes, have these 2 days. Peruse, file submissions electronically. Transform that I believe you can respond. You can respond in 1 day. So that will be by no, the state files starts by Friday. They're given 2 days to verify. The state files and starts by Friday. So the defense will respond, if any, by Monday. Then can we meet
I actually don't need Monday.
It's electronic.
Friday is electronic.
Electronic,
We
yes.
will file on Saturday.
On Saturday. Then, if that is the case, then we shall have a mention on Monday. If I have all electronic and file, because sometimes the directives are not compliant. So we can have a mention on Monday. Salongo will be remanded till then. The prison authorities are directed to up his medical condition. Specifically, we shall remind him, I think that's where the hospital is. Yes, that's where the hospital is. And then you can have meet up with the prison authorities on the issue of your orthopedic bed, so that you can then arrange it and have it available. So you will be reminded till.
Before you do that, update first. May we take it as an order that we take. We do not want it from the state if they do not have it. We will provide the mattress. We will, of course, how to deliver it and organize that service.
That's what I think. We will have to meet up with the prison authorities and arrange, because the prison has its own guidelines. So he will meet, the family will meet up with the prison authorities and arrange on how the issue of the orthopedic mattress will be delivered or handed up. I guess we are clear on that. So step for avoidance of doubt, time, Monday 10. Is it available for the yes? I believe even if it's the Sunday, it will be
Aj Elias Lukwago, the former Lord Mayor, is being remanded till Monday. They are going to subscribe, please. Babu, assalamu alaikum.
Yemmwe abalayiti bannange. The challenges of health that you just spoke to.
I think generally the concerns relate to his health condition. Because since he's kidnapped on Monday this week, Monday this week, yes, a search has been on. We mounted the search. We tried everywhere, this stations, and we couldn't find him. We couldn't locate him. And the worst thing is the destruction of institutions in this country. That every person, every single officer, every single responsible person you talk to wanted to avoid trouble. Right from the police and a military officer you talk to, would say that one is not happening. The police said they had no knowledge of where he was, and I believe them. We were not told where he is. We knew that he was in custody, some illegal outfit in form of the military. You know, the military is a trespasser in this area. So they trespassed onto police jurisdiction. We went to Natete police station, which is a area police, up to the region. They all refused to attend us. They were saying, we do not know, we don't have him. Go to CID headquarters. We went to CID headquarters. They bounced us. We went to KMP where they sent us, and we could not get help. Until last night, midnight, we were looking for him in various police stations, where we would be told sometimes deceptively to disorganize us. And finally, in the morning today, around 10, when we got information that he's at Chia, we verified it with our sources, and yes, we found him at Chia. Thank God, because we know that the condition where he's been is much worse. With relation to him being produced in court, definitely we cannot celebrate it as victory, but we can only celebrate the law. At the end of the day, the law may be slow, but the law will prevail over impunity. Impunity, indiscipline, indecency, and all manner of vices have their limits. At the end of the day, the law catches up with all those vices. Now, the medical condition has been worsened by his illegal incarceration. The, the torture, including physical torture, the apprehension arising out of the torture and uncertainty, being made to sleep on the ground, on the bare ground. Then he was also forced to do physical exercises, even with his frail body. As you see him, as you've known lately, the life he has been living, they forced him to do drills, which have been exhausting, and that caused him to collapse. There are so many things that have been done to him that he has narrated to us, some of which I would rather not mention because of the private nature. And maybe, God willing, one day he will tell the world.
Honorable, there was a challenge raised by the council, now your client, Areas Lukwago. He says most of the individuals talked about the part of the matter that he's now been charged with are his clients. What does that speak to you as a lawyer?
What it means is the urgency to release him so as to attend to that case. Because the beauty is that it's a separate file.
The beauty is that those who are persecuting him know the reason they are persecuting him, and they have given us the reason they are persecuting him. I have sincere hope that he will be out to proceed with the defense of his clients. Because those clients gave us instructions. We cannot abandon them along the way, even in the face of adversity and threats onto our lives as professionals. But we also want to thank those people that have stood with us. It has been trying, we've been tribulating, but there are people who stood with us, even while others chickened and feared to associate because of the brutal nature of the accuser. Many, Uganda Law Society, a society to which we proudly belong, the Radical New Bar leadership, the East African Law Society, the Pan African Lawyers Union, the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, and the International Bar Association, and all professional bodies, the Muslim Lawyers Association. I think I also saw their voice. It came out. And the various individuals and institutions that came out to boldly say no. Ladies and gentlemen, today it's me, tomorrow it's you. I mean, you've seen that there is a list that now it is Lukwago, next it is his lawyer and the colleague, Honorable Martha Karua. At least for her, she's lucky, she's beyond the borders. Then the next is Semuju. Next, I think, is Bariomus, because the man said he wants to jump on Bariomus's belly as a bouncing castle. Maybe also thank you to his wife, sister, Charlotte. She's a wife. She's his wife. Okay. We want to thank her because he said she directed him to release. But we want to ask Charlotte, where have you been with all these happenings? Mama Jane, where have you been? Genom 7, my brother, where have you been when your son is doing all these embarrassing things? Police, where are you? I was surprised that even when they dropped somebody, a torture victim today at Chira, the police did not arrest those bandits. I was surprised. That notwithstanding, this is step one. Oh, thank you, team of lawyers with whom we worked on the habeas corpus. Maybe you need to know that we filed the habeas corpus this morning. Probably it woke them up. And in the habeas corpus, we still named Mohoz Kanyagam. We did not cowardize. First, we want to respect institutions in this country. But nobody is going to respect an institution headed by somebody who does not respect the law. Now, you saw that it extended into the police. You saw how they were brutalizing me, stopping me from entering court. I went to pick documents for my colleagues, the lawyers that have been blocked, Beka Seka Njako, Kabuye, and Moise. Then they refused me to come back. I said, people, my client has been taken to court. They said, no, you're not going. I had to force my way. Why? Is that necessary? But I mean, because it is the way to go if you want to get a promotion. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, people who turned up. We want to thank Narongo for remaining steadfast. You know, sometimes our spouses are used as agents of the devil. Thank you, Roshi, for standing with your dear husband. We want to thank the children for the resilience. I know at some points they have been breaking down. We pray that it ends well. From a professional angle, it's very interesting. One, how somebody can charge you after asking you to release information you might have obtained from your client in the course of your professional conduct, your professional practice. Tell us what your clients told you. Can you imagine a professional? To our son, Genom Hos Kanyarugaba, I will appeal to you still. Look at your peers, the people you went to school with, the people you went with to those military academies on our money. Look at how they conduct themselves. Get me one, not two. Behaves like who threatens others, break limb and destroy life. Who dignifies himself in dignifying others? Just one, not two. You studied. We paid for you to study in South Africa, paid for you to study in Egypt, paid for you to study in Sandhurst, paid for you to study in Kansas. You know, the instruction you received from there is to command and protect us, not to command and hurt us. I take particular note of your threat onto my life and person. Of course, I am not so hard-hearted or stone-hearted to say I do not worry or care. I care. I fear you even, but I fear the law more than anything. There are certain things that should not be done by a leader of an institution created by the Constitution. You enjoy that high office because it was created by the law. The only way you can sit lawfully in that office is by respecting the law that placed you there, plus the responsibilities. That I'm also going to appeal to the Bataka of Uganda because one of their sons, Joseph, produced a son who is brutalizing us. I want to sincerely hope that I will not disappear, that I will be around. But whether I'm around or not, the voice that I raise will be there. The issues that I stand for will remain there and will have to be solved if we all going to have peace. Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Abooluganda, ebyo tebibamala.
Uganda bibye nyinyi byogedde honorable.
Yes. Yes. Oh yes. He was forcefully shared. I said they are setting from like not one to but that is visible. They shaved off his hair with an unsanitized machine. I also want to tell you that he was forced to eat posho and beans. First of all, I suspect it had a lot of salt. I don't know if it had other components. But we have said consistently that his meals are prescribed medically. What you're supposed to eat, when and how. So they forced him to eat posho and beans, which exacerbated his condition, as I mentioned. All his underlying medical conditions rose up as a result of the environment in which he has been for the last 2 days.
Uganda.
Well, mu Luganda mwebale kufaayo. Kristo yabuuza abakyala nti abakyala tefaayo, naye mmwe mwebale kufaayo. Mufuddeyo ne muyimirira ne mubuukirira eno. Munafu okuva lwe yawambibwa abadde ayita mu kiseera